topic of today's reflection received would be a colossal understatement. Now, hang on to that, because I think that's the last laugh line you're going to get today. Among the many questions that I have been asked, the most frequent one has been, will your reflection change based upon the outcome of the election? The answer has always been no. Regardless of the outcome, I expected to encounter both the triumphant and the brokenhearted. We do well to remember that we who gather here may not have all voted the same way. We have not done especially well in our acknowledgement of that fact, and though we speak with some pride about those we welcome, I can imagine that one who is theologically liberal and politically centrist might think twice before making that fully known here. So many assumptions in so many places, so much unspoken, even among those of us with the best intentions. The pain and disappointment of all who invested resources of time and money and energy in what may to many now seem like an exercise in futility. This has been a process, this has been an event received and processed in countless venues, and the search for some sense of redemption continues. On Facebook, one of our congregation members noted that she was not sure she was ready to hear me ask her to turn the other cheek. I will not, as I have not. Rather, I wish to extend the invitation that is expressed so eloquently by Victoria Safford, my colleague from our congregation in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Our mission, she says, is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope. Not the prudent gates of optimism, which are somewhat narrower. Not the stalwart, boring gates of common sense, nor the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges. People cannot hear us there. They cannot pass through. Nor the cheerful, flimsy gates of everything's going to be all right. But a different, sometimes lonely place of truth-telling about your own soul first of all and its condition. The place of resistance and defiance from which you see both the world as it is and as it could and will be. The place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but joy in the struggle. And we stand there, beckoning and calling, telling people what you're seeing, asking them what they see. This place, this gate of hope, as Safford calls us, is not where our legislators of either party are likely to find themselves anytime soon. The rules of engagement in the public arena have long lost their capacity to guide an honest and nuanced discussion of anything of substance. We permit ourselves in our campaigning and those running for office to speak of and with one another in ways that most of us would never speak of and to anyone else in any other circumstance. At this level in our political system, at this moment, the potential for healing seems remote indeed, because the wounding just goes on and on. Friday on State Street, a man holds up a sign that says, "Indict Walker." Yesterday, in a Facebook post, one of our state assembly members sought input on the governor's input on a response to Governor Walker's invitation to a broad summit. Among many more tempered and thoughtful comments was this one. Go and keep your enemies close, but don't make nice with liars, thieves, and people who, expletive deleted, in their own nests and our nests. They can be trusted under any circumstances. Point out, if you get a chance, that when one candidate in an election spends 7 times the money of the other candidate, it is not really an election. Only a coward has to tip the playing field that much. Obviously, he doesn't think he could win on his policies. Another advised, go and let Walker know we are not going away and we will fight him every step of the way. This is surely coming from the place of despair that Adrienne Rich speaks of, in the political activist who doggedly goes on and on, turning the ashes of the same burned-out rhetoric, the same gestures, all imagination spent. And though these are the least tempered responses from among many, they are the daily fare of public life and reflect the driving rage and pain that so many unheard citizens are feeling right now. It does not take much imagination, though, to see that the toll that such frustration exacts in the human spirit, and to know that the momentum behind such expression leads only away from the gates of hope and squared toward the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges. People cannot hear us there. They cannot pass through. The possibility of one scintilla of anything positive or helpful to arise from such a position seems to me impossible. As long as we do not pause to consider the devastating futility of this kind of rhetoric and imagine other ways, there will be no change. And only a retreat from home. It's Saturday. I am at the farmer's market, one of the many places in this beautiful city that remain a place of civic pride. Today there are few political expressions apparent, though seemingly believed to be handing out bags to remind shoppers of world hunger. The usual PFLAG folks, the people promoting the Pirates of Penzance, the microfinance display. I am delighted, as always, to encounter FUS members among the sugar snap teas and the garlic scapes and the fleeting pints of real strawberries. Today, the conversation turns to Walker, and can he be trusted now that he seems to be making conciliatory gestures? It's a question that is, for me, complicated. If I say no, there is no room for any kind of engagement. If I say yes, am I naive? What I say is we need to proceed with caution. All of us. In any case, this is part of a larger conversation that cannot fully occur even in the most beautiful Saturday morning. And I regret not being prepared in that moment to name the larger conversation. So I shall try to name it now. I find it in these lines from Terry Tempest Williams. The human heart is the first home of democracy. It is where we embrace our questions. Can we be equitable? Can we be generous? Can we listen with our whole beings, not just our minds, and offer our attention rather than our opinions? And do we have enough resolve in our hearts to act courageously without giving up ever, trusting our fellow citizens to join us in our determined pursuit of a living democracy? This is the larger conversation. Complicated, ambiguous, time-consuming, demanding, frustrating at times, like democracy itself. Like a democracy undertaken with the better angels of equity, generosity, attention, courage, and determination, and trust.